The common consumer purchases a meat product, and chances are they don't think twice about how that meat got there or how the animal was treated in the process. When purchasing meat in any type of establishment, the common consumer is completely misinformed about how their meat was treated before it landed on their tongue. How your meat has been treated before you eat it is quite a large issue in today's society. Chances are the animal's meat you're eating has been living on a factory farm because 99% of all farm animals in the U.S. are brought up on a factory farm. The cold hard definition of a factory farm is a large-scale industrial operation that houses thousands of animals raised for food, such as chickens, turkeys, cows, and pigs, and treats them with hormones and antibiotics to prevent disease and feed the animals the cheapest food possible to maximize their growth and factory output. These animals are fed a mixture of corn, soy, chemical and municipal waste, and even the meat and bones of other animals. In a way, if you think about it, if you eat factory farm meat, you are eating toxic, inorganic waste. This process contaminates the animal's well-being, consumers' well-being, and the Earth's well-being. Every year, over 60 billion animals are slaughtered for food, but the largest issue is that factory farming is the biggest perpetrator for animal cruelty on Earth. E. coli and swine flu are just some of the many viruses that have been found to contaminate the meat that comes from factory farms. The viruses are caused by the hormones injected into the livestock. More forms of drug-resistant bacteria are evolving as more antibiotics are fed to the animals. Grain-fed, organic, and grass-fed are common buzzwords found on meat products. These labels mislead customers to think that factory farming didn't take place. It is evident that there is an increase in consumer interest for food that is organic and natural. Due to the fact that factory farming is a public issue, it can't be fully solved by private means. The federal government does not control factory farms. A small, underfunded branch of state governments regulates them, which is why there hasn't been federal government intervention. The buyers of meat need to prove to the government that it is an important issue so that the system can be modified. In addition to interviewing the buyers from Sodexo, we thought it was important to get the thoughts from the LASPCA, a nonprofit organization dedicated to the elimination of animal suffering, and get their thoughts on factory farming and animal rights.
So, again, we don't really deal very much with livestock, but there's something called the 5 freedoms. So the 5 freedoms were initially created with livestock in mind. Then animal welfare groups, stepped in, helped tweak them a little bit, and now these 5 freedoms are used across the country, whether it be for livestock or for companion animals. So those 5 freedoms are the freedom from hunger and thirst, the freedom from discomfort, the freedom from pain, injury, or disease, the freedom to express normal behavior, and the freedom from fear and distress. So when you're caring for an animal, keeping those 5 principles in mind, making sure you're providing them, with food and water, with an environment that's comforting for them, making sure that they're not in pain and properly cared for, getting proper medical treatment, that they have the ability to act however that breed of animal or that however they act, whether it be a dog that wants to run around in the yard and play fetch, or a cat that just wants to lay around and be lazy, letting that animal act how that animal acts. And then, of course, the freedom from fear or distress, so making sure that animal feels safe. So those 5 freedoms are easily adaptable to livestock and companion animals.